Hello guys, my name is Haste and this is Torchlight 2. Torchlight 2 is an action RPG and is, surprise surprise, the sequel to Torchlight. Now Torchlight 2 has improved a lot on some of the bigger flaws of the original, the most profound probably being the fact that you can now play with other people, be it friends or, depending on your tolerance level I guess, random strangers. Now don't worry, you can still play offline if you prefer to do so of course.
More mana.
Torchlight 2 features 4 complete new classes. You have the technological frontline soldier called the Engineer, the somewhat mentally unstable Berserker, the highly trained spellcaster called the Ember Mage, and the mysterious gunslinger named the Outlander. Each of these has 3 unique skill trees that you can spend points into whatever way you please and change the way you play your class. Take for example the Engineer. If you go down the tree called Blitz, you'll turn yourself into a mace-swinging, fire-exploding melee fellow designed to blow up your enemies by smashing them into their face. If instead you'd rather wear a shield and be a defensive juggernaut, then you can do so by going down the Aegis tree. And lastly, the construction tree not only gives you multiple drones, but also allows you to focus on giant handheld cannons to pulverize your enemies from further away. If we'd however take a look at the Outlander, you'll see that the differences are a bit more subtle. Either way, you'll end up tearing your enemies apart from a safe, although mostly not so safe distance, but the means with which you do so depend on what skill tree, or combination thereof, you go down. Essentially, you can turn him into an acrobatic gun expert, or become Xena the warrior princess as you throw glaive after glaive, or even turn yourself into the guy from the darkness and turn every enemy you slay into your own Shadowling pet. Now pets, everyone loves pets, right? They're back in Torchlight 2 in even greater variety and essentially do every little dirty job that you don't want to be doing for pretty much no pay. Bags full? Don't worry, just load all the unwanted gear onto your pet and send them off. Apparently they're great at selling and buying and will return in mere minutes with all the gold you'd get for selling them. In addition, you can even give them shopping lists if you're, say, short on potions or scrolls. They're quite handy in a fight, and in case you remember to feed them some lovely fish, they'll most likely turn into some mutated horrible creature, giving them even more combat capabilities. One of the other major flaws the original had is that it was way too easy. It was quite difficult fighting yourself into a tough situation, and I can happily say that this is not the case in Torchlight 2. With Torchlight 2 comes 4 difficulties and you can pick your difficulty straight from the get-go. If you happen to pick Veteran or Elite, you'll get used to seeing yourself take a lot of damage, and if you're not quick enough, die quite often, but even on normal your enemies can be quite dangerous from time to time. Torchlight 2 is currently in a closed beta and you can already pre-order the game from Steam, which will not be full price. I believe it is currently around €20, and if you happen to love action RPGs with a more classic feel to it, in the form of skill trees, randomly generated worlds, and some incredibly visceral and meaty combat where pretty much everything you do ends up with your enemies blowing into bits, you'll probably want to check it out.